Hey guys, my name is Francisco Hernandez, and today I'm going to show you how I convert my 2:3 ratio images, my portrait images, into Instagram's 4:5 ratio. This is actually something that I've been doing for a couple of years now, and over the years, nobody has ever noticed. Not a single person has noticed, and the only way people have known that I do this method that I'm about to show you guys today is when I meet them in person and they ask me personally, or I just tell them I just stretch the sides of the image. So I'm going to show you guys that process right now. And hopefully you guys can apply it to your images so that you don't have to get those crops or those borders on the side of your images to fit Instagram's 4:5 ratio. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the image that's on the screen right now of my friend Jasmine that I took at last year's Photo Plus in New York, actually in front of the Javits Center. So I'm actually gonna do a couple of photo walks this year coming up in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll let you guys know where to sign up for those. But again, back to what we're here for. We're going to convert this image from 2:3 ratio to Instagram's 4:5. The very first thing that I want you guys to do is hit Control or Command J, depending if you're using Mac or PC. That's going to make a copy of the layer. After that, you want to get the crop tool, which should be C on the keyboard. And after that, you want to make sure that you're holding down the right corner here while holding down Shift and Alt. And then you're going to extend that as far as you can go to fit the image, and it's going to create that. It's going to have the white borders on the side there for now, and then you're going to hit Control. You're going to hit Enter, and that's going to make the image into 4:5, at least sized up to be 4:5. It's not converting anything yet. We're going to do that manually. The very first thing I'm going to do, or the very next thing I'm going to do right now, is get the Marquee Tool, which should be M on the shortcut. And if you want to know where it is exactly, it's right there. And you're going to go ahead and just sample the left side first. It's always going to be left side and right side, but you're going to get as close as you can to the subject without getting on their skin or their clothing. Otherwise, you're going to distort that as well, and it's going to look, it might look a little weird. So right now I have it right next to her knee as close as possible, and I have it a good amount selected here. So I'm going to hit that. It selects that portion, and then you're going to hit Control or Command J again. That's going to make a copy of that layer. And all that's doing is making a copy of what you had selected. After that, you're going to hit Control or Command T, which is going to transform it. And you can go ahead and stretch it and do a lot of different things. But what we're going to do is go ahead and just get this left side and just stretch it all the way to the left side. And that's pretty much everything that we need to do for the left side. One thing I wanted you guys to know is that when you have a lot more of a section of the image to grab from and stretch, the stretch is not going to be so apparent. I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean right now with the right side. So make sure that you have the Marquee Tool, select this section, and get as close as you can without affecting anything too noticeable, like, for example, not her hair or clothing, not her skin or her clothing, but her hair is real close to this image right here, that little stray hair right there. So if I were to go ahead and just warp that, it might look like it's too warped, but again, nobody has noticed this when I did that to a lot of different images. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it here. And now I'm going to go ahead and hit Control or Command J. But one thing I want you guys to see right now that I don't have correct is I don't have the right layer selected. Right now I have just that section right here. And obviously right there on this image, there's nothing to select from. When that checkerboard area is showing up, that means nothing's there. So, so yeah, right now if I were to try to make a copy, it's going to tell me that there's nothing to select from. So make sure that you have it on that layer again, which is going to be this one, where there's actually something to sample from. Then hit Command J or Control J. And then you can also again hit Control T to transform the layer. And then I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean by the stretch not being so apparent and being apparent. I'm going to go ahead and start to stretch this image. And if I were to go ahead and stretch this image and it be fine to my eyes, I probably would stop around, maybe around here. Maybe a little bit less, maybe around here. But if we wanted to go ahead and just show the entire image, then stretching it would be actually fine and usable for this image specifically. But I do feel that, I don't know, the background got a little bit too warped for my liking. And again, this is something that not everybody notices, and you guys probably wouldn't notice unless you guys saw this video. So, but I do want to show you guys an alternate option. So if you guys liked this ratio or this stretch right here, or this conversion, then you could go ahead and just save the image right now. But if you guys wanted it, if you felt like the image was too stretched on the right side, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Z to reverse what I just did. Then I'm going to hit Command T again, and start to stretch the image again to my liking, which should be around, maybe around here. And obviously you don't want that right side to have the border there. So what I'm about to show you right now is going to be something that you can only do if you have a little bit of section on the top and the bottom, like I do for this image. There's a lot of ground on the bottom there and a little bit of building on the top. So I'm going to go ahead and hit C again, which is my crop tool. And then I'm going to hold down Shift and Alt again while holding this right corner, bottom right corner. And then I'm just going to go back and crop in as much as I can, and it should snap into place where that border stops. So I'm going to go ahead and I wouldn't keep it here because I want the eyes of the image to be more towards the center. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit down and make sure that the eyes are a little bit up top there. And then this is a crop that I would be happy with, and I would go ahead and just hit OK. And that's going to convert it to my liking, with the stretch being not so apparent on the right side there. And that's pretty much everything that you need to do to convert this image to 4:5 ratio for Instagram. But I do want to show you guys exactly real quickly why I make a copy of the layer. So if I were to go ahead and start over again and not make a copy of the layer and go ahead and just get the crop tool and extend it all the way to, let's say around, maybe around here. And if I go ahead and do that same step that I did before, which is getting the Marquee tool and making a selection of the left side of the image and hitting Command or Control J and then Command or Control T, and then go ahead and transforming it. If this is the reason why I make a copy of the layer that's separate from the background, because right now when I cropped the background, it made those borders stay on the side there. It made it part of the image. If I were to go ahead and just do this step where I stretch the image to the left to the right, I can stretch it, but it won't snap into place. So I might be a little bit under, a little bit over, like a little bit under would be here, showing some of the white part, a little bit over, and making it a little bit too much stretched. So that's exactly why I make that separate layer, like I'm about to show you again right now. So to recap real quickly, I'm gonna go ahead and just make a copy of the layer, hitting Control or Command J. I'm gonna go ahead and get the Marquee tool, or actually the crop tool. I'm gonna go ahead and hold down Shift and Alt while holding that right corner. And you can actually stop at a closer crop. I went ahead and just went to the full extent of the image right here, the full image. And then you're gonna hit the M shortcut for the Marquee tool. Select that left side of the image, hit Command or Control T, or Command or Control J, hit Command or Control T now, and then you're gonna just stretch that image to the left side. And it should snap into place. That's the reason why I make that copy of the layer. And again, you're gonna do the same thing for the right side. Make sure that you have the right layer selected, and hit Command or Control J to copy that, Command or Control T to transform it, and then stretch it. And again, all you have to do after this is just resize for Instagram, which is gonna be, I'm gonna hit Control Alt I, which should be Command Alt I. And then that's gonna go ahead and bring up the image size. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just resize the longest edge, which is the height right now, to 2048. Oh, not that, 2048. And then I'm gonna hit OK. And that should make it the best for Instagram. Let me just zoom in again. And that's pretty much it. After this, I would just probably make a copy and name it something like Jasmine Photo Instagram Crop. And before the video ends, I want to show you guys some other examples of images that I've converted, because they aren't as clean as this image. This image here of Jasmine was ideal for what I'm about to show you guys, the method that I showed you. But there are some other images that I've taken where it wasn't exactly something that I liked. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what I mean right now. So this is an image that I took of Julia in Sun River, Oregon for a Sony Candle 3.0 trip. And this is the 2:3 ratio that I originally edited the image in, but I needed it to fit Instagram's 4:5. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys that right now. This is the crop that I ended up creating. One thing I want you guys to see is that this little bushy image here and this little, I don't know what you want to call that thing there, I stretched them, and you can see that they're stretched, especially this one here. You can see that they're stretched. But again, this could be something that, you know, if that bush or whatever in the background was already big enough, then it works. Or if that little bush thing on the bottom left there if that was big as well, then it would work. It wouldn't look stretched. It's natural. But one thing I do want you guys to see is that, like I mentioned before with the image of Jasmine here, how I didn't want the stretch to be too apparent on the left or the right side here. That actually was an issue for this image because her arm was right there. This is the 2x3 crop, and her arm was right there. But what wasn't there was actually like her arm showing. It was just more like the shawl. And in my head, I thought if I stretched that shawl a little bit, if I selected maybe this section right here, that's not her dress in the bottom there, then it could be exactly the same image if she were to just move her arm just a little bit out there. So you have to use your judgment to figure out what kind of stretch that you can get away with, or what would be more natural to you. I felt like stretching that part of the arm wasn't too bad. So you can see this is the uncropped Instagram cropped version, and you can see in the final Instagram crop, you can see that I stretched maybe up to this section here, and that made her arm go up from here to a little bit more outward, which I thought was fine. So that's why I went ahead and stretched that. The left side was a lot easier to stretch because I had a good section of the image without her in the frame. And that's pretty much everything in this tutorial. I hope you guys learned. I hope you guys apply it to your images so that you don't have to get those those images with the borders on the side. I never liked that when I used that app, Square Ready, and I'm happy to do so now in Photoshop. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.